I wouldn't go skiing, or God forbid I got a paper cut. You know, you're in trouble. Just the little things. So I would my life got dampened in the way that I wouldn't take risks. And I wouldn't do the fun things that I like to live out my life doing because I didn't want to break something. And there goes my career. So it's enabled me to have two sides that make me feel much more comfortable and fulfilled.
That is true. I mean, if you do get a paper cut,
yeah,
you're kind of limited.
Yeah.
Right?
And actually, I became allergic to people. If you think about you're working on 6 people a day, and we know that people put hundreds of chemicals on their body before they leave their house in the morning. We've got hairspray and cologne and deodorant and body and all this stuff. I don't use it, but a lot of people do. And if I'm working on 6 clients, that's hundreds, if not thousands, of chemicals on my hands in a row. And my hands just started breaking out, and I could not do massage anymore until I found doTERRA. And then I had solutions for my issues so that I wouldn't react even if I did get exposed to that. So, for me, it was a double blessing because I could continue to do what I love doing, but it wasn't my full-time job anymore. It was my choice.
Welcome to Building Your Business with doTERRA, the podcast where you learn secrets of top wellness advocates, and we take the guesswork out of building your business so you can progress quickly towards your financial goals, experience time flexibility, and live the life of your dreams. Okay, Mindy,
Hi.
Good to have you here on campus.
Thank you.
You are in Boise. You shared that with me
Yep.
right now, but you're originally from?
Alaska, Ketchikan, Alaska.
Ketchikan, to be exact.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been with doTERRA? Remind me.
I've been with doTERRA a little over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The long run.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's see. We're 2024, 2014, right?
Yeah, about that. My daughter was 2 and she's 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Right now, what would be your best advice to somebody who's maybe on the fence watching right now, right? And they're like, I don't know. I heard doTERRA is pretty good. I'm not too sure.
To jump in
Jump
as a
in.
business.
Start building.
Okay. I've had experience in direct sales and 2 different opportunities, and I truly feel that I could do anything I put my mind to, any company, any business.
You gonna make it happen?
I would make it happen. That's just my personality.
That's the Mindy way.
Yeah. And so when I look at doTERRA and I think I'm standing in a grocery store, being a mom, buying groceries, and I could literally talk to every single person that I see, and every single one needs doTERRA. It doesn't matter if they're man, woman, old, baby, anything. Every single person I could market to, I could sell to, but I could start a conversation with and find a need for what I have to offer. And there are very few companies, especially in direct sales, but I mean even elsewhere, where everyone that you can touch, see, or in the same breathing space needs what you have.
Talk to him, Mindy.
Why would you sell anything else? Why? And then you look at the compensation plan, and that is the icing on the cake.
Amen.
It's unparalleled.
So 2 things I want to call out with that.
Okay.
First, it's your mindset. You could do this, right? And you have to put that in your mind. Number 2 is understanding that there's a need. There's a serious need, and you have those solutions. I think that's something that's a given. But what speaks to me, what I hear there is about our products, right?
Yeah, I get passionate. The more you learn about them, the more you are part of this mission to change people's life. It's not like you're dressing them. It's not like you're selling them lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
That is great, and people love it, but it doesn't change their life. I think that's where the confidence builds the more you do it, because the feedback loop is so positive when someone is crying, or they are just so grateful to you for introducing you, or they want to tell you to tell the owners of doTERRA, thank you so much for changing my life. You don't want to do or be part of anything less than that.
Love that. That's some bars right there, is what the kids would say. And you also shared that you've been part of 2 other direct selling companies.
Yeah, back in the day, I'm early 20s, like I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So for you, Mindy, I think there's a lot of people that would resonate with you. What makes doTERRA stand out You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
in these 10 plus years that you've been with doTERRA, what stands out about doTERRA versus other direct sales companies that you've been a part of?
Yeah, in my experience with them, well, first of all, like it's not that I had bad experiences with other companies, and I left before they went under, but both of those companies did go under, and years later. It was just I had moved on. I felt like I had moved on. I had my massage degree or my massage license, and I had my international business degree, and I felt like I had gone on and moved on to different things. And so originally it was that I'm not interested. I'm not looking for a business. I'm not looking for anything but to be a stay-at-home mom / sometimes massage practitioner. And Jessica gave me an experience with the oils for solving a problem that I was having with my daughter. And so first it would be the product. Like the product was different than anything, even as a massage practitioner, aromatherapy certified, anything I had ever tried. So then I was like, oh, well, I'd be interested in my mind as a customer. Like I would like to use this myself. I'm naturally minded. But then I was like, wait a minute, you make a living doing this? I just couldn't understand how a company like how those two fit together. So when I looked at the business opportunity put together with a company that I was extremely interested in and effective, I
Come on.
yeah. And then 10 years later, the fact that it has done nothing but get better,
Right.
like blows my mind.
Right.
I wouldn't still be here if it didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And oftentimes so there's two things that I kind of want to call out. But first, oftentimes doTERRA is referred to as a legacy company, right?
A unicorn.
A unicorn.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, given your experience of just being in direct sales in general, but now you've found this gem and we could say, there was 4 years before you, I guess, jumped into the doTERRA pool, got your feet wet and started going. But I would consider you one of the pioneers, especially in your area, right?
We've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there was not a lot that there is today, the basic programs and the things that you guys have put together over the years, like just material-wise and incentive-wise and things like that. Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. And what was the question?
Sorry. So just like being part of a legacy company.
Yeah, being part of the legacy
What
company.
does that mean?
I mean, I got to sit down at those beginning days. Like we had a meeting with Dave Sterling before I really decided to sign my name on the line, like officially. and we like grilled him. He was laughing because he was like, we were talking about international markets, and I wanted to know more specifically about the compensation plan because I couldn't understand how you guys wouldn't go bankrupt if you were paying us as much as you were paying us, and I didn't understand this and that. And so, I mean, it was really being able to meet one or two or three of the founders, and I just fell in love with them. You could tell their character and the way that they answered the questions and the way that you felt heard and taken care of, like right from the beginning. I remember saying to my husband, like maybe 2 years in, if any one of the founders, but it was specifically we were talking about David Sterling and Emily Wright, I said, if they came to me and said, Mindy, we can't pay you for a full year, but we need you to work twice as hard as you've been working, I would say yes without even asking why.
Wow.
Like, and I've never met an employer, or I've really never met people that I would say that to without, if they said, we'll work it out in the end. We just need you to do this. I'd be like, I got you. Because in 10 years, they've never made any decisions that have made me question, putting 100% of my life or my dedication or just working towards something like this. I've never questioned that I'm not on the right path.
That's powerful. I mean, I would share the same thing because I see the type of people that they are and the way they carry themselves. So much integrity, and I think that's where it starts, no matter what. And so, yeah, that's crazy. I don't know if I would be able to work without a year, especially nowadays. But
I figured out.
You figured it out. You figured it out. And let's get into it.
Yeah.
Let's talk right now. So you mentioned that you are a massage therapist.
Yeah. Yep. 18 plus years.
Wow. So this, I mean, most people would think coming from the outside, they say, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Like, you need to be in doTERRA.
Absolutely. If you're a massage therapist or a body worker, but specifically, like, I cannot think, a teacher's probably a close second, but I can't think of another career that pairs better with doTERRA than a massage therapist.
Okay, so we're going to talk to our massage therapist. Not everybody's massage therapist, but somebody knows one of them.
Oh, everyone should have one. I mean,
Right.
I know. I think everyone needs to have a massage therapist or be searching one out,
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, the thing is that the reason that not everybody is, I think, is because sometimes people go into massage because they're not business minded, right? They're like very healing and caring, and they're, maybe even, kind of on the woo woo side, if you will, and they don't want to talk. They just want to work on you. But if that is their, profession that they stay with, um, but the thing that was kind of like the light bulb for me was, even though I loved it and I wanted that to be my career, and I went to school for it and trained and all the things to be a successful massage practitioner, you don't usually retire from that because it's hard on your body, and or they can't make a full living doing it, or you get injured in one way or another and then you are done. And so, like, that scare factor, my passion is to talk to massage therapists or people in that type of industry and say, like, alongside, let's build these two as slow or as fast or as comfortable as you want to, but if you can build both sides of the revenue stream at the exact same time, let's do that so that you have retirement, so that you have, it's also just security. I feel like as a massage therapist, I wouldn't go skiing, or God forbid I got a paper cut. You're in trouble, just the little things. So I would,
That's
my
true.
my life got dampened in the way that I wouldn't take risks, and I wouldn't do the fun things that I like to live out my life doing, because I didn't want to break something, and there goes my career. So it's enabled me to have two sides that make me feel much more comfortable and fulfilled.
That is true. I mean, if you do get a paper cut,
Yeah,
like, you're kind of limited,
yeah.
right?
And actually, I became allergic to people. If you think about, you're working on 6 people a day, and we know that people put hundreds of chemicals on their body before they leave their house in the morning. We've got all this stuff that we know is toxic. I don't use it, but a lot of people do. And if I'm working on 6 clients, that's hundreds, if not thousands, of chemicals on my hands in a row, and my hands just started breaking out, and I could not do massage anymore
Oh, wow.
until I found doTERRA. And then I had solutions for my issues, so that I wouldn't react even if I did get exposed to that. So, like, for me, it was a double blessing because I could continue to do what I love doing, but it wasn't my full-time job anymore. It was my choice.
Wow. And you're finding success even in this economic landscape of 2024, which a lot of people would say, well, it started in 2020 and it's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trickling its way over through 2024. We're now in the new year, but you're still seeing success with that.
With doTERRA?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it is just a new era. I think, I don't want to say things burned down, but like, dumpster fires across the world for a couple years, no matter what you're talking about. And I think that we're building up from the ashes in a different way. At least for me, I think if I was stagnant for a period of time, it was because I was holding on to things that worked a long time ago or that I knew, and I just wasn't willing to kind of shift and get out in different ways. But when you guys put out that Founders Challenge, and specifically the Double the Bubble, I had a goal and I had a time frame. And with the time frame, I just looked within myself and said, I already know how to do this because I've been doing it for years. I just got comfortable, and I just need to live out a little bit louder and not get in my own way. And so using those different resources, like I said, going to Alaska, we have 10,000 tourists coming through every day.
Every day.
And I was like, what do I do? And you just got to really get creative. And then I like to tell my team, and also to tell myself, what is it going to take to get out of your own way? There was some confidence issues because it had been a while since I had promoted, or maybe I fell back for a while.
Yeah.
And I just was questioning whether or not I was any good at it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's that momentum had stopped. And then I was like, what got me going in the beginning, what got me going 10 years ago. And it was like finding a partner to do it with. And so I literally just re-recruited my friends that were that helped me build in the beginning. And they know and love and trust me. They still love the product, whether they're building or not. And so we just got together and kind of was like a team effort to get me like moving and pushing me out in front of the people that I needed to be in front of. And then it just became really fun again.
That's awesome.
And I had lost the fun for a little bit. The fun factor's huge. And
Yeah.
so our motto for 2024 with our team, well, we're jumping between two. It's like work hard, play harder.
Yes.
Is a normal motto. Sorry.
I love that.
This year it's work hard, rest harder,
Yes.
and fun harder. So it depends on what we're doing, but it's rest harder and fun harder because we want to balance the two. We also need to rest.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that enough in the early years. And so we're balancing the fun factor and the rest factor with the work factor.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And because of your experience, like you've obviously learned, what's happened because you tend to run. Whereas now you're like, okay, let me help you new folks. We're going to see the end from the beginning, right? And you
Yes.
already have that experience. So you're like, let me drop some knowledge on you.
Yeah.
I love that balance. And also, I think it's very true. A lot of us are coming out of our caves and trying to wake up. So you said you started to recruit people, right, and your friends to develop that motivation to get back into your old swing of things.
Yeah.
Right?
And to get out of my own way, like that's different for everyone. I have some people, we were just talking about this on our call that you jumped in on the other night. What is it that is standing in your way? Like only you can answer that question. And especially for some new people, a lot of women, they, on my team and that I talk to, they don't know what to wear. It's as simple as they don't know what to wear. And I am like, you're right. I get it. We're laughing, but I'm like, you know what I wear? My scrubs.
Yeah.
Because I'll do the same thing. I'll look, I don't like this, and I don't like this, and I don't like that. And so I don't want to teach a class, and I don't want to go online. I don't want to do, and then I don't do anything. So I got a uniform. And every day I wear my scrubs, whether I'm working or not, because I can take that problem right off of my table. And so, if that's, people aren't going to wear their scrubs or uniform, but they can wear doTERRA logoed stuff.
Yeah.
They can go get 1 to 5 outfits that they feel good and confident in. And sometimes that is the first barrier that makes that momentum and that ball start rolling.
And it just takes that one thing.
The one thing.
Right.
And it's different for everyone. So
Right.
so really, like, I tell people, like, write it down. What is truly holding you personally back? And if you can't find a solution, then, go to your team, go to your upline, go wherever you need to go to find how to remove that for you. And that was that step. My Nana used to build doTERRA with me when my kids were babies. And she was so much fun. And I just needed her to bring back the fun factor. So she came to Alaska for a week. We literally enrolled 33 people to hit founders that week. And then we celebrated.
You have to celebrate.
I forgot to celebrate for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, really quick before we forget.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there's 10,000 people that visit Ketchikan.
Every day.
And you had to get creative.
Yeah.
What did you do?
We literally just walked around. And if she pointed to them, I had to go put deep blue on them. And I was really nervous at the beginning, right? I was like, no, I can't do that. And then she was like, you owe me $10 if you don't. Or so, whatever she said. I get free deep blue if you don't.
But that's the fun.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I can do it. And then what would happen is we made that like the goal.
Wait, because most of them are coming off of cruise ships, right?
Cruise ships, and they're of the age that they are maybe not used to walking that much because it's kind of rigorous, right? You're
Right.
going on all these excursions and boats and planes and walking and stuff. And so it's funny because 10 years ago, when you had a booth somewhere, you were explaining to people what essential oils were. Now, you don't eat them. I mean,
Yeah.
you can, but it's not really for cooking, but you can. But this is what they're for. And then today, I would say 90%. Way more than 50%, 90% of people walk by and they have already heard of doTERRA. So then it was either, do you have deep blue in your purse because you're going to need it today? Or have you heard of the deep blue stick? And so the deep blue rub, 1 little dollop, that was our goal. And I would put it on one side of their neck. And even if they walked away, we would just watch them. And it was about 10 steps. And they'd be like, what is that? And then they would turn around
Come back.
and they would come back and they would buy it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Look at that. And this is in Ketchikan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's taking advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
That was what we had when you guys gave us a deadline. And so we made it work.
Go time.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mindy, we're probably going to start to wrap this up.
Okay.
But, you know, we kind of talked of just different things happening within the business, the economic landscape, and kind of what you've seen in your specific field of genius. And did you first start as a customer, or were you building from the jump?
I was building from the jump.
Okay.
I mean, when Jessica Moultrie starts talking to you, she's feeling it out from day one, and it actually went from a wait, what, delete, like stop, I'm not sure, who are you, to very quickly there was a switch, and I started selling myself to her within mid-conversation, from having not wanting to do anything with a business like this to, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I want to hitch my wagon to whatever this is.
Dang.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting, because I think of Jessica as like almost like a drill sergeant type of coach. Like whatever she's saying, I'm doing.
She does give off that personality, but also like the most loving best friend,
Right.
amazing, mothering person you could
Right.
ever meet.
For
She's
sure.
all of those things, yeah.
For sure. And is that something that you found that you've been able to emulate or kind of attract, or is that just a Jessica Moultrie type of magic that only herself can, I guess?
I think we attract different. I think everybody attracts something different that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that even if I tried to be her, I never would be her.
Facts.
And I think people do want to emulate their mentors and their uplines. And I remember one of my downlines saying, I would never have signed with anyone but you. Like, I'm not attracted to this, or this. I'm attracted to you.
Mm.
And that was really one of my first opportunities in the business where I felt like, my people are attracted to me. I can do it my way. That
Yeah.
feels good.
It does.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I've heard people say in our industry, or I guess just in general, sales in general, that you don't sell people the product. We might need to paraphrase this, but people purchase, well, they don't purchase you, but you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they almost go with the product because of you first and foremost, than the actual product.
Yeah. Well, luckily with doTERRA, I would say it could go either way, even if they're not attracted to you or
Yeah.
like you. Like, all you have to do is open the bottle as fast as you can. But I think, like, when you've been doing it as long as I have, I think some people think, they're not good enough to attract the right people or the big enough people, or and that's just not true. I think that when you are building a team, if you do build a team with people who are generally have things in common with you or are attracted to you or your messaging or just who you are in general, the team feels like a family as opposed to what else it could be.
Amen. Yeah. Amen. Strength in numbers is what they say. But you got to build that strength first. Right?
Yeah.
Take some time. And we were chatting earlier about, just your journey of how you came to find doTERRA. And we kind of discussed the Jessica Moultrie element. But it's 2024.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we're going to wrap this up with a really quick rapid fire session.
Okay.
And there's about 5 questions I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
And we try to keep them pretty short, but just first thing that comes to mind. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, number 1, describe your doTERRA journey in 3 words.
Fun, lucrative, and never ending.
Okay. First oil that you use every day.
Vetiver.
If you could create your own blend, what would you call it?
Elevation.
Bring it back. Did you hear that, product team? We need that back. Okay. Worst advice taken.
The worst advice I've ever taken in this business?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone gave it to me. I think don't go too fast.
Mm.
Take your time.
Best advice given.
Best advice given? I would have to say trust the process.
Starts with trust. Right? Okay. Well, Mindy, super happy to have you on this podcast today. Thank you so much for dropping some gems. Look forward to seeing, what our viewers comment and like about this whole podcast. But thank you so much. Thank you for what you do.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Also, check out past episodes by searching Empowered Success on Apple, YouTube, or Spotify. Don't forget to share an episode with someone who needs it. If you want more tools to make it easier to build your business, go to the Empowered Success webpage on doTERRA.com. And as a reminder, results are not typical. Average earnings are less. See doTERRA Opportunity and Earning Disclosure Summary on doTERRA.com.